today's video, I'm going to be covering some of the funniest arguments for the existence of God. Now, look, you shouldn't be getting your theology from TV shows or comedians, so if you're actually looking for real apologetics, check out people like Frank Turek, even William Lane Craig. They're excellent for providing apologetics, and there's a million other great biblically sound apologists, so go check those things out. But today we're just kind of having fun. We're going to be watching two clips, one from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, not a very Christian show, and then also a comedian with a funny bit about religion. So let's just dive in to It's Always Sunny.
Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.
And why is that?
Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy.
This is Aristotle, thought to be the smartest man on the planet. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everybody believed him because he was so smart. Until another smartest guy came around, Galileo, and he disproved that theory, making Aristotle and everybody else on Earth look like a... Of course, Galileo then thought comets were an optical illusion, and there's no way that the moon could cause the ocean's tides. Everybody believed that because he was so smart. He was also wrong, making him and everyone else on Earth look like a bitch again. And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch. Are you seeing a pattern?
All right, so pause it there. Actually, the funny thing is, Newton and Galileo both professed faith in Christ. So, I think as a little side note, like all these former scientists, they were all Christians until more recently. They're all at least professing believers, theists or deists. But I think that's kind of important to notice. Just to say, All right, let's keep watching.
Are you seeing a pattern?
No.
Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists on the planet. Only problem is, they kept being wrong. Sometimes.
Oh, this is insane, you fool!
I'm a fool because I have more faith in the saints that wrote the Bible?
Yeah, because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true.
And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints?
Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures. There are fossil records.
Oh, fossil records. I didn't even think about the fossil records. I guess I'll concede. Oh, wait, one more thing before I do, Mr. Reynolds. Have you seen these fossil records?
Have I? Huh?
Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures?
Well, no. No.
Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met, and you take their words as truth based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
Come on. Look, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that.
All right. Another side note, faith isn't a leap. I think faith is oftentimes mischaracterized as believing in something without seeing, but that's not what faith is. Faith isn't belief in the absence of evidence, actually. Faith is believing because it's trustworthy. So, that's a whole separate video. There are tons of great resources that actually dive into what the Bible believes and says about faith, but let's keep going.
Come on. That's a false equivalency.
Just answer the question, Mr. Reynolds.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I rest my case.
Oh, that got me. Yeah.
Frank, do you want me to...
Put me over.
Yeah, all right.
What?
Well, we're going on the fence.
science. I mean, it's a shadow of a doubt.
You actually don't believe in evolution anymore?
I don't know. He created a reasonable doubt. He makes you sound like a stupid science.
Got you good.
Oh my God.
So that was the first clip. A few more thoughts. I think the really great thing about this clip, other than the bells, which is hilarious, but the really great thing about this clip is that he's exposing just the hypocrisy of just believing things that were told to you, and then accusing Christians or theists or pretty much anyone of any religion that they're the fools, they're the idiots for believing that something someone else said to them. So I think it's really important to expose hypocrisy. I think that's really what the clip is doing. But there's issue within this clip. Science does not stand opposed to Christianity. They're two separate camps. Look, Christianity is about the creation and God and His rule over everything. Science is just the study of the natural world. That's all it is. And so for us to say that science has any input whatsoever on the unnatural things or the paranormal or whatever spiritual, they have no say in those things. It is a false dichotomy to compare science to Christianity and vice versa. They're not standing opposed to each other because they're not in the same camp. It really is like comparing apples to oranges. It does come to a head when science says that God can't exist because they're actually speaking on things they can't really actually qualify or quantify. And the other thing is the juxtaposition is science and evolution specifically versus Christianity. And again, the Bible doesn't speak against evolution. It doesn't speak for, I would argue, it doesn't speak for young Earth or old Earth. I think the Bible is actually absent. It doesn't speak about those things, I would say, intentionally. There are many different interpretations of Genesis and the first few chapters there to talk about creation. All that's important to know is that God, the one and only God, created everything on the earth, and nothing was created without Him. And John 1 says that Jesus, also being God, was there at creation and was doing the creating Himself. So once we acknowledge that God is the uncreated creator, everything else, it's not really that important when it comes to how things were created, except for the fact that God spoke things into existence. It's His to do. And Psalm 110 says that everything in the world is God's footstool. It's His footstool. So God is the sovereign ruler and controller of everything in the world and the universe because He set it into existence and He spoke it into existence, just like it also says in the book of Job. So the second clip is a comedian, Pete Holmes. This video went pretty viral, so let's just watch it.
People think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty magical nothing, you guys. And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator?
All right, so that was a clip. I saw a lot of atheist comments that kind of saying, oh, we don't actually believe nothing. That's foolish. That's what the art, Look, it's a joke, obviously, but also there are atheists who think that it is nothing that created, or not literally created, but that creation came from nothing. It's really like a cyclical, nonsensical, kind of circular argument. And that even goes for the creation of species, or any species. There isn't any actual argument there. They're just, something something happened, and a meteor probably most likely happened, and then a fish came, and then that fish became this creature, and then that creature, and then a primate, and then a human. It's like, okay, okay. But how did, and this is actually a really important argument for the existence of God. If you read Mere Christianity, if you take any time to look at other philosophical arguments for the existence of God, they get into this argument really quickly. So this is actually called the Kalam Cosmological argument. It's a philosophical argument for the existence of a God, or specifically a Christian God, when you get deep into it. So it's these three logical statements. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. 2, the universe began to exist, so therefore, 3, therefore the universe has a cause. And then, given those conclusions, someone like William Lane Craig will then say, 4, if the universe has a cause, then an uncaused personal creator of the universe exists with sans, without. The universe is beginningless, changeless, immaterial, timeless, spaceless, and enormously powerful. Because you have to be outside of space, you have to be outside of time, you have to be immaterial to create material matter. And then 5, therefore an uncaused personal creator of the universe exists, who sans, or without, the universe is beginningless, changeless, immaterial, timeless, spaceless, and enormously powerful. So those are the main points of the Kalam cosmological argument, with the addition of those 2 points by William Lane Craig. So that's kind of, I guess, the argument against nothing created the universe. And obviously, as Christians, as Christ followers, as believers, we believe that God is the originator of everything and the creator of everything. He spoke everything into existence. That kind of looks like the Big Bang when you see it. Those are some clips I thought were pretty funny and had some sense of truth to them. Are there any other arguments you've seen put forth in non-Christian media? Because oftentimes in the media, Christians are put down pretty heavily, or Christianity, and let me know in the comments some of your favorite clips about Christianity. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a very blessed week and a very blessed year. Until next time, God bless.